What's up, guys? We are bringing this latest Spider-Man wave of Marvel Legends to a close with the last figure in the main set. Before we take a look at that Build-A-Figure, we have got Daredevil. This guy is in our standard box, and I am really ready to be done with this packaging. He's in that big window. We've got the Daredevil logo down there. We have got the product shots, the lineup, the Build-A-Figure, and the write-up on the back. So let's pull him out and take a closer look. Alright guys, here he is. We've got our black Daredevil out of the packaging, and this is a figure that, I haven't been too concerned about because I'm not the greatest Daredevil fan. But, turns out I kind of like this suit, so we'll see how he works, how he looks, how he moves, and of course we're going to take a look at articulation first. He is on the Bucky cap body, so we're not going to get anything too crazy, but let's run through it real quick. So the head is pretty much unencumbered, swivel all the way around. He can look all the way up. Well, even more so if you pop the head off. He can look all the way down, so great range of motion there, especially if you want to get him into some sort of jumping or lunging poses. This helps with positioning. Arms can go out, swivel all the way around. We do have a bicep swivel. We've got double jointed elbows, but it's pretty much only 90 degrees. The hand wraps are going to get in the way there. We've got hinged and rotating wrists. Ab crunch goes back just one click, but he goes forward pretty good. Good hunch there. We can do a waist twist as usual. Legs go out that far. Kick forward, kick back, thigh cut, double jointed knees. And on the, well, his left knee, the strap is going to get in the way there. But on the right knee, pretty good range of motion. We have got a boot cut. We've got a rocker down here at the ankle, and then of course we've got hinge. So he's pretty much as articulated as you might expect him to be. Nothing crazy, nothing missing. And he's about as agile as he needs to be for a Daredevil figure. Now, in terms of the overall look and feel of this figure, he's obviously in a more recent suit. This isn't the current suit that he's in. I think he's gone back to red from what I understand. But this is definitely a more recent suit, a suit that I'm personally not familiar with. But I do like it. I like the double D on his chest. I think it looks really good. We've got pretty much the standard Daredevil figure that we've seen for a while now. The head sculpt is good. We've got the horns up there at the top. We've got red eyes. We've got the unmasked nose and mouth, the lower half of the face. It's all painted very cleanly. No real issues to speak of there. The D's on the chest are pretty cleanly painted. We do have a floating piece here for the belt, but it's very, very tight, so it's just going to move, very slightly. It doesn't get in the way of that joint either. We do have the holster on his legs for the billy clubs, and again, it's just cast in red plastic like the belt. It is free floating though, so it kind of moves. But if you push it up far enough, it'll get stuck on the thigh. What I do like about this figure that I don't believe is the same as some of the other Daredevil figures is that he's got these wraps on his hands. So they're on the hands and on the wrists. And then he's got these boots down here as well that are, laced up all the way. And these are pretty solid. I'm actually really happy with these. And I think that's why I actually like this figure more than I expected. Because I like these wraps. They've got a nice wash on them to bring them a little bit of flavor almost, just to make them stand out a bit more. Otherwise, they'd just be as red as everything else on them. And then we've got the wash on the laces and the kind of the bow up here at the top of the laces on the boots, which looks really good, and I'm happy with that. It kind of breaks it up a little bit, makes him look a little more different from what I expected. And again, being not a huge Daredevil fan, little touches like that make me more interested in this figure. So I think he looks pretty cool. Obviously, it's a black suit. It's very different, but I'm digging it, so I'm okay there. He does have a few accessories to speak of, so let's take a look at that. So as far as accessories are concerned, we do have a small handful here. So of course he has his billy clubs. You saw those previously. They do fit into the holster just fine. They are just, red tubes of plastic with a little sculpted detail in the top. These do not connect together in any fashion because there is another purpose for these that we'll talk about here shortly. So those are fine. Those are great. I mean, they're quintessential Daredevil weapons. They're pretty much what I'm going to use and display him with at all times. And then we do have an extra set of hands for this guy, so they are just closed fist hands. These look fine. They're just as good as the other hands he has, except these are open, these are closed, same wraps, same kind of light wash all over him. So if you're into having him just ready to throw down with his fists, you are covered there as well. But let's talk about what is extra here included for the billy club. So as far as the extra aspect here, we do have something a little different for Daredevil. We've got this thing. So we've got this white cord, and it actually does have sculpted detail on it to make it feel and look like a rope. And it connects to the two billy club pieces. So this is an interesting thing for me, not necessarily because I'm going to use it in my display, because I'm probably not, but because it's kind of weird. If you put it in his hands, it's honestly kind of sculpted in such a way that it's a very weird positioning of things. So, yeah, it's almost like he's throwing it, but it's defying the laws of physics. It's, you know, comic book physics almost, but in the real world. This doesn't look right to me. So that doesn't do anything for me personally. I feel like this should have been going straight, and it shouldn't have this final bend at the end. I think it would have looked more realistic for him to be throwing it. So that's kind of an odd thing to me. I do like the idea behind it, don't get me wrong. I think it's kind of cool. So, because, you know, this is something he can do with his billy clubs. It's something that we've seen before, but it's just kind of oddly implemented here. And I don't think I'm ever going to use this, because no matter which way you kind of, you know, put it in his hand, it's always going to be doing kind of this thing. And that's not how a rope works in any way. So, you know, if you could stretch it out a little bit more, maybe do something like this. That looks a little more realistic while still being kind of comic-y, cartoony. So it's kind of an interesting thing, but I don't personally think it's implemented very well. So overall, despite the fact that I'm not a huge Daredevil guy, I like this figure more than I thought. Pretty much everything outside of the rope attachment is fine with me. I think the wraps that he's got, the boots, everything from that perspective is nicely sculpted. I like the wash on it. I like the black costume, whether it's current or not, doesn't matter to me. I think it looks cool. And I like the implementation of that new DD style logo on his chest. It's painted pretty well. I don't have any kind of bleeding issues there. And I like the head sculpt. It's been a pretty solid Daredevil Matt Murdock type head sculpt for a while now. So I'm okay with that one. Really, my only gripe with this figure is that it's on the Bucky Cat body, but, you know, what are you going to do? You know they're not going to change that up for a repaint of Daredevil. And then, of course, that rope thing is just kind of weird. It doesn't seem to work in how you'd expect a rope to work. So I don't know. I don't know what they were doing there. Maybe I'm not understanding it, but I don't think I'm ever going to use it. I probably wasn't anyway. So that's going to do it for this look at the Marvel Legends Daredevil figure from Hasbro. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.